Hello guys, this is What About Nintendo. Today I'm here for my Smash Direct predictions. Now Nintendo just announced a Nintendo Direct for tomorrow, August 8th, 2018. And I think there's going to be some pretty awesome stuff shown in here, so let's get right on into it. So I guess the first prediction I should make is how long is this Direct going to be? Well, I know that some Wii U and 3DS Directs were upwards of 40 minutes long, but I don't think this one's going to be that long. That one had to do with 2 games, this one's only 1 game, so I think it's going to be 20 to 25 minutes in length. I also think there's going to be another Direct closer to release that they also talk about a lot of big stuff, so they don't want to talk about everything here yet. They want to spread the hype between both directs. So I think it's going to be 20 to 25 minutes long. It seems like the perfect time for me. Now, I think during this direct, one of the first things they're going to do is run through some items. Now there is an items tab on their website that says coming soon. You can't click on it, it's kind of grayed out, it's not available quite yet. I think this is when they're going to open that up, because I think they're going to run over a lot of items. Now I wanted to predict some new items that would come to Smash, but it's kind of hard to predict because they can be such wacky, crazy things. But what I think will definitely be there is some new Splatoon items. Splatoon is the newest series franchise that's in Smash. It's the new franchise. The other ones, Ridley and things, they've been in Smash. The Metroid has been in Smash before. So it makes sense that Splatoon would be the series that's getting the most new items this time around. So, some items that I thought they could show would be the ink wall, where you could pick it up, throw it down, and it just has a wall of ink. It gives you some good defense. You can move through it, but other people would get damaged and blocked. If they tried to walk through it, they'd have to jump over. The Ink Zuka, which essentially is a rocket launcher of ink. That would be a really good item. The Ink Strike, which I think would work kind of like Olimar's rocket, where you launch it and then it comes down later and just ink torrent comes down. So those are just some Splatoon items, I think, because Splatoon just makes the most sense. It's the easiest to predict because obviously Splatoon's a new franchise, they're going to have some items. Next, I think they'll run through some stages. Another part of the website that is locked out, you can't get to it, is the stages section of the website. They're going to open that up, and they're going to talk about 10 to 15 returning stages and probably around 3 to 5 new stages. Now, here's some returning stages I'd like to see back. Obviously, it's hard to predict exactly which ones they'll be talking about because there's so many. Currently, we know of 80 plus stages coming to this game, so it's hard to show exactly, hard to predict exactly which ones are coming back. But here's some that I would love to see. Sector Z, the best Great Fox stage in my opinion. One of the only Smash 64 stages not confirmed to be coming back for Smash Ultimate. We need that to come back. Nintendo, please. I love that stage. It's so frickin' good. Please. Pokefloats, something that people ask for all the frickin' time, would look great in, redone completely for Smash Ultimate. However, I don't think it's going to be the normal Pokefloats. I think it's going to be a Pokefloats 2, and I think it will, I think Pokefloats will be there too, but I think there's going to be a new stage, Pokefloats 2, that will remix different Pokemon. It's going to use newer Pokemon, different Pokemon, and it's just going to look completely different and better, but it's going to be the same general idea as Pokefloats. Ice Mountain, which is one of those stages where you have to kind of keep climbing and then descending. I like those kind of stages, some people don't. I personally like them, would like to see it here. Rainbow Cruise, a great stage based on Mario 64. Love this stage, the level in Mario 64, but I also love the stage in Melee, so I would love to see that return. Foresight, because I'm watching a Let's Play right now, again, of Earthbound, and Earthbound is amazing, so any Earthbound representation is awesome, plus it's just a pretty good stage. Rumble Falls, another one of those stages where you're constantly climbing up and down. As I said, I like those, some people don't. I personally like them, would love to see them in here. And Flat Zone 2, because Game & Watch stages are just absolutely incredible. Now, so there are some stages that I don't think will come back. Here's some stages they will not come back. So, PictoChat and Miiverse. Obviously, those are kind of relics of the past. PictoChat doesn't exist anymore. There's no real reason for that to be in Smash Ultimate. And Miiverse has even less reason because the whole thing about Miiverse was you saw Miiverse posts real Miiverse posts in the stage, but Miiverse doesn't exist anymore. There's no real reason to bring that back. And another one is different clone stages. As I mentioned earlier, Sector Z is my favorite Great Fox stage. However, there are tons of other Great Fox stages, and I don't think every single one needs to be in Smash Ultimate. I really don't. They already confirmed that not every stage is returning, so why bring in so many clone stages? And it's not only the Great Fox, there's other ones like Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. There's different versions, there's like version 1, version 2. It's like, you don't need every version of every stage. You really don't, so I don't think those are going to be back. However, some new stages that I think will be coming is they're going to show off that Mario Odyssey stage. Now, we've already seen it a little bit in the trailer for Mario's character. If you go to his character page in the Smash Bros. Website, you can see that quite clearly that there is a new Donk stage. So I think they'll definitely show that off because they kind of already did. They just need to show off the whole thing, the big picture, and exactly how it works. A new Metroid Prime stage because, as me and Andres kind of realized, last night when we were doing the podcast, there's no Metroid Prime stage, and Metroid Prime is my favorite version of Metroid by far. So getting Phandrana Drifts, or Chozo Ruins, or Magmore Caverns, or anything like that would be great. And lastly, I think they're going to show off new stages for some new characters that they're going to announce. Specifically, an ARMS stage, just for segueing all the way into the new fighters that I think are going to be announced, and one of them is Springman. I think Springman, possibly with a costume for Ribbon Girl as well, will make it into Smash, and I think it will be announced at this Direct. I think there will be 1 or 2 new fighters, including Springman, that will be announced, and a few Echo fighters as well. The other new fighter that I think will be announced is Simon Belmont. I believe the rumor that said Ice Climbers Ridley would be announced at E3, and Simon Belmont would be in Smash, but he'd be announced later. I think this is when he's going to be announced, because I believe that rumor. I think it's going to come true. For Echoes are hard, but, kind of hard to predict because they can be a lot of different things. But the ones that make sense to me are Shadow the Hedgehog for Sonic, Ken for Ryu, and Dixie Kong for Diddy Kong. Those seem like the ones people actually really are, asking a lot for. They make a lot of sense. They wouldn't be that hard to do either. New modes. So I think one of the last things they're going to talk about are the new modes in this game. Now, I don't think they're going to talk much about the online, because I think they're going to want to save that in a test Smash for the next Direct, closer to release, because they don't want to release something like a test Smash, and have it data mined to hell and back before the game comes out. They want to have that right before the game comes out, so it doesn't get data mined and released. By that time, they've already had 2 Directs, and they've shown off pretty much everything they want to show, and they don't really have to worry about that as much. So I think they're going to save that for another Direct later in the year. They're not going to talk much about online. They may talk about it a little bit, but they're not going to talk about that much in no test Smash, I think. However, I do think they're going to talk about a tag team mode, something I like to call stock swap, or some people like to just call Switch after the Nintendo Switch. And that is one where you pick a certain amount of different characters, and every time you die, you switch or you swap to the next character. So if you pick Link, Samus, Kirby, Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong, you switch between them every time you die in that order. So I think that would be a really good way to change up the strategy, force other players to change up the strategy. If you die as one character, well, fighting against that character is completely different than fighting against the other character that died. So now you have to completely change everything about the way you were fighting. I think it just adds a new level of strategy and depth to the game that I would really love to see. And finally, I think adventure mode. This cannot be the Ultimate Smash Bros. Without a good adventure mode. Considering there's been 2 other games with good adventure modes, this has to have one as well, in my opinion, and it just has to have one. I think it's going to be how you unlock the different characters, because you are going to start off with 8 to 12, I think, that they announced. Very close, they said very close to the N64 roster, which was 8. I think it would be like 8, 12, something like that. So you're going to have a pretty good way of unlocking other characters. It's going to be the smallest starting roster we've had since the N64. So I think it's going to be the story mode, and I think the story mode is going to be short stories that differ between each character that you use. I think it's going to focus on interactions between characters, and not only between characters in their own respective universes, but between characters between several different franchises and universes. Pit versus Link, maybe Palutena meets Kirby, I don't know, all kinds of different things. Solid Snake and Ganondorf. We saw hints of that in the trailer, in the initial trailer. They were both shown. No, it was Ryu and Ganondorf, excuse me, that were shown together. So different things like that. Crossed series interactions in a meaningful way. I think a lot of them are going to be humorous, but I think some of them might also be more epic and dark. They're going to have cutscenes, I think, akin to those of the reveal trailer for Ridley. In fact, I think Ridley's reveal trailer might just be part of a cutscene from Smash Ultimate Story Mode. So I think it's going to have custom levels, kind of like Subspace and Melee's Adventure Mode, although I don't think they're going to be as big, and I think they're going to be like Melee's, where they're focused on action and platforming, rather than finding collectibles that boost your stats and just exploring everywhere. I don't think there's a reason for that. They're going to be shorter, more condensed like the Adventure Mode in Melee. I think there's going to be around 25 to 30 stories, and I think they're going to be relatively short, probably 15 to 20 minutes, or about the time it takes you to beat Classic Mode in Smash 64, with about 2 to 3 cutscenes each. Now, while this may seem on the surface like a lot of work, it's actually far less content that was in Subspace Emissary, which had 100 different cutscenes and 31 huge stages with collectibles and all kinds of different things. So I think it would actually be easier. Plus, Nintendo has a lot more staff this time, and they have much more experience making these different cutscenes and story modes and different things like that. And they have, there's more powerful PCs now. You can render things so much faster. So I think it's going to be a lot easier to make this. And there isn't as much content. There's a good amount of content. For sure, there's a hefty amount of content from what I'm, suggesting here. But it's not going to be as hard, I think, as Subspace. And I think it's just generally going to be a much better experience. I think these short stories may all tie into each other as one big story that you figure out along the way. But they also, I think, could easily work as just short stories that are on their own as well. That just focus on interactions between the characters and stuff like that. And just wacky interactions or dark interactions, epic interactions, stuff like that. Nintendo did say, and I quote, "Streamlined the conditions for unlocking fighters, and we want to make the process interesting. So it feels like you're constantly recruiting popular characters to your side." And I think a short story adventure mode would be the perfect way to do that. Now guys, that's not it for this, because there's just one more thing. Smash loves to be that game that shows you just one more thing. And that tends to be the most hype thing of all. And in this Smash Direct, I think that thing is going to be Banjo-Kazooie. Is there a better character to end this on than Banjo? In my opinion, for this Direct, I don't think so. I think Banjo would be the perfect character to end on. It would generate the most amount of hype, and it would just show something that people have been wanting for so long. Finally, the internet can stop yelling at Sakurai every 5 seconds to put Banjo in Smash, because he's going to put it in Smash and he's going to reveal it tomorrow at the end of the Direct. Anyways guys, that's all for my predictions though. If you liked these predictions, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos Tuesdays and Thursdays. Coffee Talk Monday through Friday, where I chat with you guys with the latest Nintendo news, and gaming live streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where I play some good old multiplayer games with you. Fortnite, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, all kinds of different games I play with you guys live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And let me know down in the comments below what you think of my direct predictions, and if you have any predictions of your own, and we'll see who gets it right tomorrow when I live stream my reactions to the direct. Anyways guys, I'll see you then on What About Nintendo. Bye!